In the internet space, people talking about learning languages, they always say they want to achieve fluency. But fluency is a very abstract topic. You could say you're fluent when you're able to hold a conversation, but holding a conversation, you could talk about very basic concepts like, what did you eat today? And then you say, oh, I had a sandwich. And then the person says, that's good. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm good. You could say that's a conversation. I just held a conversation. Well, then you could learn how to be fluent in a language in a matter of days. Like in a week, you could learn how to say basic phrases, have some mini conversation, and then you're fluent. But obviously, that's not what most people would consider fluent. On the other side of the spectrum, you have people who say you need to be fully proficient. You need to have no misunderstandings of the language. But how many words are in English? If I open up a language dictionary, an English language dictionary, I'm sure in less than 1 minute, if I'm looking on each page, there will be a word I've never seen before. I could not tell you what it means. I have no idea. Watch the spelling bee. If you watch the spelling bee on TV, where they have the kids spelling those words, almost all of those words we've never heard of before, the average person. If you think you have, you're lying to yourself, because there's a lot of weird, obscure words that you don't know. Someone knows it though. If you're in a certain sphere, if you're in a certain field, some of those words you might know because they're scientific words, they're nuanced vocabulary. So, do you have to know the whole language to be fluent? Well, no, because then no one is fluent. So, basically, however you define it is what fluency is. And I don't have a personal definition of fluent. I mean, me myself, I'll talk about my Chinese. I'm able to use it at work, at the job I currently work at. I use it to communicate with my coworkers. We talk about some concepts. Oh, it got really windy there. We talk about some complex concepts using the language. I'm able to hold my own, but my nuanced vocabulary is a little more limited to the field that I work in. So if I'm talking about chemistry, there would be a lot of nuanced words I don't know. So I'm able to use it for work. I'm able to, if I go to China, which I have multiple times, talk to people out on the street, able to have conversations with them, no problem. I'm able to use the language fully functionally. But am I the same as a native speaker? No, I'm still a little ways away from what a native speaker would be, but I'm fully functional in the language. And I'm still a little hesitant to say I'm fluent just because I know I'm not at a native speaker's level. But I am fully proficient in the language to work. If I travel there, I can communicate. And it's really a hard line to draw. And then with Japanese, on the other hand, I'm more of like an intermediate-ish. I think if I took a mock exam, I'd be somewhere between the, whatever it's called, N2 and N3, because when I look at the example sentences, the example questions, I think I'm somewhere in that range. I think I could confidently pass N3, and N2, if I really crammed and tried my best, maybe I could pass it. But am I fluent in Japanese? Well, I don't know, because I could have a very basic conversation, no issue, but at the same time, I'm definitely way worse in Japanese than my Chinese, and my Chinese I wouldn't even know for sure if I'd call myself fluent, because I'm able to use Chinese to communicate everything way better than Japanese. So, I mean, if you're thinking about the average everyday definition of fluent, I'd say, yes, I'm fluent in Chinese, and no, I'm not fluent in Japanese. I guess if you force me to give an answer. But when you see people online saying, get fluent in a week, I got fluent in a week, all those types of things, take it with a grain of salt, because fluency, there might be a definition of what fluent is, but it's not like a hard definition. Like, no one is out there giving a guideline that says, if you're able to know this number of words in a language, it's fluent. It's just guidelines. It's what people on their own think of it. It's not set in stone absolute definition. So if you're down on yourself that you're not fluent, or that this person got fluent so quick, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because it's not an absolute definition.